We're about to take a look at HyperTough's new 20-volt line. Now, if you already have an opinion about HyperTough, that's fine, but I think you're going to want to see these numbers. You're going to find them very, very surprising. We're going to compare the old to the new models with all of their numbers and statistics, as well as key features and the different upgrades that have happened with this new line. Now, they do have a full new lineup with a comprehensive line of tools, if that is something you're looking for. But we're going to go over 6 tools specifically, 4 of them comparing the old models, and 2 of them are new tools that they didn't have in their previous lineup. First up, we're going to take a look at this 20-volt hammer drill here. This is from the new lineup, and the easiest way to tell if something is from their new lineup or not is if this portion here is black like you're seeing now. The older versions are going to be filled in with red around the white lettering. That is the easiest way to tell the difference physically, just by looking at the tools themselves. Now, as far as differences go, this is brushless, which is absolutely important. I don't use any brush tools anymore. It's outdated. And now HyperTough also has a brushless line. The old model was brushed. It does have an all metal 1/2-inch keyless chuck, which is fantastic. You can see on top, there is a low and a high speed setting. There's also 21 torque settings on this, where there were only 15 on the first model. And the first model also only included the actual hammer setting, not the actual screw setting as well. You guys can see that. So it's 21 plus 1 plus 1 for the actual hammer drill mode itself. And this drill is going to put out 400 inch-pounds of torque compared to the old, which only put out 350 inch-pounds of torque. It does have a built-in light down here at the bottom, which I do love. It's bright. The belt clip is ambidextrous, so you can see on this side, I'm right-handed, so of course it's going to be on the left side. But there's also a place on the other side, and it actually has the screw in there now. I love that it's ambidextrous. So if you're lefty, you don't have to worry about not having the belt clip on the side that you need it on. And this drill is coming in at 3.09 pounds versus the old at 3.57. So it is also lighter as well. I do have to say, I really like the feeling of this drill as well. This material here is a softer rubber. It's got some texture to it, basically. It's not soft, but it gives you something to grab onto and to grip, and it is comfortable. As far as key differences go from the old drill to this one here, the motor type's going to be one of the biggest things. The fact that it's actually brushless and not brushed is huge. The torque itself and the torque settings is also a huge bonus, and it is going to be slightly lighter. As far as the usability of the drill goes, the upgrade of being brushless really helps out with the performance in so many different aspects. It really is an absolute game changer. One thing I really like about these batteries too, obviously this is going to be for the whole platform. It's got the indicator on the front with the 4 bars. This is on the 1.5 amp hour battery. The larger ones also have USB-Cs. I'll show you guys that when we get to it. Another cool feature about this is they do have a bit holder in the back. This is actually something that I find to be incredibly useful. Not necessarily something that I use all the time, but when I get in a pinch and I'm up working on something, to be able to pull this out and to have either a slotted driver or a number 2. Slotted driver should never really go in any power tool, but when you get in a pinch and you have it there, it's very, very useful. It is a double-sided bit, so it's just helpful to have that on board, and it's not in the way at all. You can see that it just hides away in there. It tucks in there. It's really not in the way. It's just an added bonus. I like that portion about it a lot. Now, this is so ridiculous how much of an upgrade this one is. This is the 1/2-inch high torque impact wrench. They do have a mid torque 1/2-inch, and I also believe they have a lower torque 1/2-inch as well as a 1/4-inch and a 3/8. This one here, it's a lot bigger. You guys can see how heavy this is, but compared to their old models that they had available, this blows them out of the water. So this one is also going to be brushless. All of their new lines brushless. The old model was brushed. The max torque though for this is 826 foot-pounds, and the old model was 185. That is absolutely ridiculous. That is such a significant upgrade. It's incredible. Breakaway torque is going to be 900 foot-pounds. Yes, foot-pounds. That's right, not inch-pounds. Versus the old model, The old model had up to 300 foot-pounds of breakaway torque. It also has variable speeds, so you can actually change your speeds. It's got 3 speeds, when the old one only had the variable trigger speed, so it was just dependent on how you pulled the trigger, which is not ideal. This one has, again, 3 different speed settings. It also has another button with another option. It's going to be a breakaway limiter. Basically, when you press that and it's active, so when you're backing a nut off and you're going with a lot of torque, it doesn't just continue to do that after it's actually broken away, but it slows down and stops, and then from there, you don't send it flying and mess up your threads or your nut. This one also has the dual-sided clip, so it's got a clip on this side, or again, if you're a lefty or if for some reason you need the clip to be on this side for your workflow, it does also have the place over there so you can move that from side to side. It actually comes not installed, it just comes in the box so you get to install it. It takes 5 seconds. It's easy to figure out. Piece of cake. I really like that you can do both though. Now this one is going to be quite a bit heavier, 7.5 pounds compared to the 2.8 on the old one. The numbers on this are absolutely insane, and there's a reason for that. Obviously, this produces much higher torque. It is a much larger tool for a reason. The other thing, and I mentioned it earlier, but I wanted to show you guys the USB-C battery chargers back here. So the cool thing, you're actually able to plug this in to power it, to charge it. Obviously, it has a regular charger as well. There's 2 different styles of chargers, but there's also a USB-C in there. So if you need to charge your phone, a battery, a light, whatever it is, you're able to do that directly from the battery, which I love. And that is on the 4 amp hour battery right here. So as far as key upgrades go, the brushless motor is going to be the biggest thing, again, in all of these tools. As far as lifespan goes, efficiency, so you won't be running through your batteries as often, and just overall maintenance, performance. The brushless tools perform better. This one here is a great example. Obviously, slightly different application, but compared to the old models that they had available, they just didn't have this range of tools versus this high torque half-inch impact wrench. Crazy. The other massive thing is the 826 foot-pounds of max torque and the 900 foot-pounds of breakaway torque. That's a 340% increase in max torque and a 200% increase in breakaway torque. That is ridiculous. What a crazy improvement to make from tool to tool. This is why I said, if you have an opinion of HyperTough already, especially if it's negative, they've made so many performance upgrades to this new line that for the people that are looking for tools, especially in this price range, it's insane. The price range blows my mind. And I've actually looked at similar tools specifically from Walmart that I would consider to be in the same style of category for the same users. And the price just is so much lower with better performance, like so much lower. You're also going to have a lot more control. Having that 3-speed is important. You don't want to have to just rely on your finger to pull the trigger slowly, because that's an easy way to strip something out or to mess something up. And if you are moving the impact and something jerks, it's very easy to squeeze and hold on and then destroy something. You don't want that. Not only that, but again, like I said, there's the breakaway limiter. So that way, when you do break away a nut and it loses the amount of torque that's needed, it slows down, and that way you don't just ruin your threads. Next up is going to be their grinder. This is actually going to be their first version of a cordless grinder. Now you can see, again, the blacked out version here, battery, no cord, red. That's the old version. This is going to be the 4.5-inch angle grinder. It's got an RPM of 8,500 with a disc size of 4.5. It does have an adjustable guard as well, which is fantastic. So you can swing it from side to side. The trigger is right up top here, and you just press it down and forward. It's a safety switch, which is absolutely necessary for a grinder. And then this red portion up here is how you keep the blade locked. Another cool thing that's added in this, on the old version, there were only 2 handle positions. So you can see I have it threaded into the left side right now, but it also has one on the right side. It's got a place for the threads, and also on the top here. So if we do want to move the handle to the top, it's a super easy move. And now we can use the angle grinder in such a fashion. As far as upgrades go, obviously being cordless is so important. I, like I said, refuse to use corded tools now and will probably forever refuse to use corded tools. But being cordless is the biggest thing. It's got great performance. It's brushless, so it's going to be efficient with your batteries, and it's going to give you the ability to walk around without power cords everywhere. And this next one here is going to be their 20-volt drill driver. This is the lower model of the drill. It's going to be the less powerful model. It doesn't have the hammer function or as much torque, but it's great for everyday use on small items, especially as a driver. This one does have an older model. The differences are also going to be pretty huge. The motor is going to be brushless versus the old style is going to be brushed, of course. This one has a 3/8 chuck as well as the old one. It does have 18 different settings as well as a drill mode. The old style only had 15 plus the drill mode. And then as far as torque goes, this one's going to have 250 inch-pounds of torque, and the old version only had 175. This also has an RPM of 800, and the old style only had 600 RPMs. It does have the built-in light as well. And as far as weight goes, it's going to come in at 2.54 pounds versus the old was 2.6 pounds. So it is a little bit lighter as well. As far as enhancements go, we're going to look at the brushless. Obviously, huge bonus. I know I say it on every tool, but it is such a large part of that. So having a brushless motor, it's going to have increased torque with more control. So you also have more settings, so you have a better handle on the drill itself. It also has a higher speed of 800 versus 600 RPMs. And it is slightly lighter as well. And one of my favorites, this is going to be the 20-volt cutoff tool. It's the first version of its kind from HyperTough, but I love this little cutoff tool so much. It is going to be brushless, and it's going to have a disc diameter of 3 inches. It does have a 3/8 auger in the middle here, and it's got a no load speed of 19,500 RPMs, which is fantastic. That's pretty on par for any cutoff tool that I've seen from any brand. So the performance of this one is, there is nothing to compare it to as far as from the old to the new, but it's fantastic. It does have a soft start function as well, so you can hear it slowly ramp up at the beginning. That's just going to help with safety. It's going to help you start into materials a lot easier. And the guard does move, so you can rotate it down, and it can be this direction. Or if you need it for the other direction, you can just rotate it up. This is also a safety trigger, so you do have to push it down and then forward. You can't just push it forward. This button right here is what locks the blade in there, so you can actually tighten it or loosen it to remove it. It's coming in at 2.2 pounds, so it is pretty light. And as far as key features go, it's brushless. We're not going to blow that one out of the water again. It also performs very well. Like I said, compared to all of the tools that I looked at with the RPMs and the different metrics that they have for cutoff tools, this is on par for all of it. So the performance is fantastic. And I really like the soft start function as well on this. I've put this one to use quite a bit. It's one of the tools that I didn't think I would use as much. I have been using this like probably every other day for a couple weeks now. It's a great tool. You can change out the blade, so the material, you can cut whatever you want to. Pretty much anything from tile to metal to literally anything, especially for me. So I actually do service work, so my jobs can change. A lot of it's retrofitting different things, and so I run into a lot of stuff that's already been done. And so as far as retrofitting stuff goes, this is a great tool for this. This and a multi-tool are like two of my favorites for retrofitting now. This one being a newer one that I've learned to love, but it is a fantastic tool. And like I said, I didn't think I would use this as much as I do, but it's pretty sweet. So you have to let me know in the comments what you think of their new line. I've been using it for a couple weeks now. It's been super reliable. Obviously, these are just numbers, but as far as performance goes, they work well. I haven't ran into any issues. I have ran into a lot of hate, but I do believe this is based off of old performance and not the new performance. I'm gonna leave all the links in the description, and you guys, for the price especially, these tools have a great place in the marketplace. It blows my mind, the sum of the prices on these tools. I actually just ordered another set of these, and it was crazy the amount that I spent for what I actually received. There are links to all this stuff in the description, so go check them out. The prices are going to be on there, and you guys, for the price point, especially, the performance is amazing, especially compared to the old versions. Remember, it's all for His glory, and I'll see you guys on the next one.